The low, steady hum of my brand new refrigerator was almost hypnotic, a soothing symphony of modern convenience. It was a gleaming silver titan, a stark contrast to the ancient avocado green eyesore that had haunted my kitchen since the day I moved in. Weeks of scrimping, saving, and scouring online deals had finally paid off. Yesterday, after enduring the delivery guy's grunts and struggles to maneuver it through my narrow doorway, it was finally in place. Exhausted but triumphant, I stocked it with fresh produce, ice-cold drinks, and enough leftovers to feed a small army. The sheer joy of owning a functioning, modern appliance lulled me into a deep, contented sleep, but that blissful slumber was shattered by a deafening bang. The sound reverberated through the walls of my small house, jolted me awake as if I'd been struck. My heart pounded as I stumbled out of bed, disoriented and groggy. What the hell was that? Peeking through the blinds, I froze. There on my driveway, bathed in the harsh glare of the afternoon sun, was my fridge, my beautiful brand-new silver fridge. And behind it, huffing and puffing, was Ruby, the neighborhood's notorious busybody and a woman whose thinly veiled racist remarks had made life unbearable for so many of us. She was struggling to maneuver it onto a dolly, her face twisted with effort. Rage surged through me, hot and immediate. Before I even realized what I was doing, I was outside, barefoot and furious. "Ruby, what the hell do you think you're doing?" I shouted, my voice trembling with anger. Ruby froze, caught red-handed. She straightened up, her eyes widening in feigned innocence before her lips curled into that familiar sneer. "What does it look like?" "I'm just moving this eyesore. It's blocking the light to my petunias. And frankly, it probably attracts undesirable elements to the neighborhood. That's my refrigerator. I just bought it yesterday. Are you stealing it?" I demanded, my voice rising with every word. "Stealing? Don't be ridiculous," she scoffed, her tone dripping with condescension. "I thought someone had dumped this junk here. It's clearly abandoned. Besides, who would want such a vulgar modern thing? It doesn't fit the aesthetic of this neighborhood at all." The audacity of it was staggering. Not only was she trying to steal my fridge, but she was gaslighting me, all while peppering her words with her usual racist undertones. "Get off my property, Ruby, and leave my fridge alone." I stepped closer, ready to physically push her away from my appliance. That's when she screamed. It was high-pitched, theatrical, and utterly absurd. Ruby clutched her chest, her eyes wide with manufactured terror. "Help! Help! I'm being attacked. This woman is attacking me. She's gone completely crazy." My jaw dropped. I was the one being robbed in broad daylight, and now she was playing the victim? "Ruby, stop it. You're the one stealing my fridge." Ignoring me, she fumbled in her purse and pulled out her cell phone. 911? What's your emergency?" "Yes, I'm being attacked. A neighbor is assaulting me on her property. She's completely out of control. Please send help immediately." I watched in stunned disbelief as she spun her elaborate lie to the 911 operator. She described, in lurid detail, how I had supposedly flown into a rage for no reason, how I was threatening her, and how she feared for her life. It was a masterclass in manipulation, designed to paint me as the aggressor and her as the innocent victim. Within minutes, flashing lights appeared at the end of the street. 2 police cars pulled up, and officers emerged, their expressions serious. Ruby, seeing her audience arrive, amplified her performance. She sobbed dramatically, clutching her throat and pointing at me with a trembling finger. "Officer, thank goodness you're here." She just went berserk. I was just trying to be neighborly and move this eyesore, and she attacked me. The female officer approached me, her gaze steady. "Ma'am, can you tell me what's going on here?" I took a deep breath, trying to keep my frustration in check. "Officer, that woman is lying. She was trying to steal my new refrigerator. I caught her red-handed, and now she's pretending I attacked her." I gestured to the silver fridge, still sitting precariously on the dolly. "That's my brand new fridge. I bought it yesterday." The officer glanced at the fridge, then back at me. "All right, ma'am. Just stay calm. We'll get to the bottom of this." As the officer separated us, I explained my side of the story, emphasizing that I had just caught Ruby attempting to steal my refrigerator. I described the purchase, the delivery, and my afternoon nap, all interrupted by the loud bang outside. I also mentioned Ruby's history of making prejudiced remarks and creating tension in the neighborhood. Meanwhile, the male officer was questioning Ruby. I could hear snippets of their conversation, enough to gather that she was sticking to her story of innocent neighborliness and unprovoked attack. But then something unexpected happened. The male officer emerged from Ruby's property, his expression grim. He was carrying a stack of papers and a small, tarnished silver locket. "Ma'am," he said, addressing me, "we found something during our investigation of Ms. Ruby's property. It might be relevant to your case." He explained that they had discovered a hidden compartment in Ruby's attic. Inside, they found a collection of documents, including copies of fraudulent insurance claims, letters detailing schemes to defraud local businesses, and a disturbing journal filled with racist and hateful rants. The locket, he added, had been reported stolen from a nearby antique store several months ago. The air crackled with tension as the officer's demeanor shifted. Ruby's carefully constructed facade of innocence was beginning to crumble. The discovery of the hidden compartment and its incriminating contents sent shockwaves through the investigation. The officers immediately shifted their focus from a simple neighborhood dispute to a full-blown criminal investigation. It turned out that Ruby had a long history of dishonest behavior. She had been filing fraudulent insurance claims for years, exaggerating minor accidents and inventing injuries to collect payouts. She had also been running a small-scale scam, using fake coupons and forged receipts to cheat local businesses out of money. The journal revealed a disturbing pattern of racist resentment, detailing her hatred for anyone who wasn't like her and her twisted justification for seeing herself as a victim of reverse discrimination. The officers also discovered that Ruby had been researching refrigerator models online, specifically looking for used or discounted appliances that she could potentially acquire through fraudulent means. She had even visited my house several times in the weeks leading up to the incident, ostensibly to admire my garden, but in reality casing the place, planning her theft. As the truth emerged, the officers' disbelief turned to disgust. They realized that Ruby wasn't just a grumpy, prejudiced neighbor. She was a habitual liar, a con artist, and a thief. Her 911 call was nothing more than a desperate attempt to cover up a crime and manipulate the situation to her advantage. The female officer, who had initially been skeptical of my claims, now approached me with an apologetic expression. "Ma'am, I sincerely apologize for doubting you. It's clear that Ms. Ruby has been deceiving us all. We're arresting her for theft and several other offenses." The relief that washed over me was immense. Ruby was finally being held accountable for her actions. The sight of her being led away in handcuffs was anticlimactic, but satisfying. Her elaborate performance was gone, replaced by a chilling emptiness. In the weeks that followed, the investigation into Ruby's activities continued. The police interviewed numerous neighbors, business owners, and even former acquaintances, all of whom had their own stories of Ruby's manipulative and dishonest behavior. The district attorney's office built a strong case against her, charging her with theft, insurance fraud, forgery, and several counts of hate crimes based on the evidence in her journal. The trial was a media circus. Ruby predictably pleaded not guilty and continued to maintain her innocence, claiming she was a victim of a conspiracy. But the evidence against her was overwhelming. The jury didn't buy her lies, and after a week of deliberations, they found her guilty on all counts. Ruby was sentenced to a lengthy prison term. In the aftermath of the trial, the neighborhood slowly began to heal. People who had been afraid to speak out against Ruby's prejudice came forward, sharing their experiences and finding solace in their shared struggles. Life gradually returned to normal, though the memory of Ruby's actions lingered. My new refrigerator, now safely installed in my kitchen, became a symbol of resilience and justice. Every time I opened its gleaming silver door, I was reminded of the day Ruby's lies backfired and the truth prevailed. The experience taught me the importance of standing up against injustice, even when it's uncomfortable or frightening. It also highlighted the insidious nature of prejudice and the damage it can inflict on individuals and communities. Ruby's conviction brought a sense of closure, but it didn't erase the underlying issues that had allowed her to thrive for so long. Her actions served as a stark reminder that prejudice and dishonesty can take many forms, and that vigilance is essential in combating them. In the years that followed, the neighborhood became more united and proactive in addressing issues of discrimination and inequality. As for me, I learned to trust my instincts and to speak out against injustice whenever I saw it. And I made sure to keep a watchful eye on my refrigerator, just in case. But most importantly, I learned that even in the face of adversity, the truth will always find a way to shine through, and that justice, however delayed, is ultimately worth fighting for. The silver giant in my kitchen stood as a silent testament to that truth, a reminder that even the most audacious lies can be exposed, and that even the most hardened hearts can be held accountable, all because of a stolen fridge.